the So I'm Adopted podcast, where we talk everything adoption. This journey is not one we take alone. Together we grapple with raw emotions that surface from adoption stories. We want you to be comfortable enough to heal. So sit back and go with us on this journey as we dive deep into adoption.
Episode 9, take 1.
9.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm John.
And I'm Lisa.
And we are adopted.
Oh, we finally did it right.
Did it right. Only 9 tries. But we want to thank you again for taking the time to tune in with us. It's been a minute since we have come to the table.
Yes.
But we are still excited about this opportunity. And we have been discussing this platform with others. And we're just learning again, this is about non-traditional relationships and families, and we have more in common than we don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as always, you know, we start off, we want to jump right in, and we started a segment a few episodes ago. We talk about famous adoptees, right?
Yes.
You want to share yours first, or you want me to go?
You go, because we'll probably end up going into our next conversation with mine.
Okay. So mine, I was very surprised. Mine is Ice-T.
Really?
So what happened with Ice-T, his mother passed away when he was 3. And then his father passed away shortly thereafter. And as a result, then his aunts stepped in and they adopted him and they cared for him.
Because he used to live in New York and then he moved to California.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I remember.
You know, and again, opening the umbrella to just non-traditional families, it really paints a picture that, you know, everybody is familiar with the non-traditional situation or household, but there are so many different layers to it, so many different responses, so many things that get swept under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I learned so much because now I'm trying to figure out who else is carrying this torch of non-traditional familyhood.
Yeah, and also to piggyback off of that is it's very common that the family steps in and takes the child in, and that leads me to my person.
Oh, look at that. It's organic. It's supposed to happen that way. So who do you have?
So I have, you know, in honor of the Olympics that just passed, my person is Simone Biles.
Okay.
And I don't know how, it's not that much of a secret that she's adopted.
Mm-hmm.
She's adopted by her grandparents.
Okay.
And her mother was, you know, on drugs and alcohol, and it was 4 of them. She has a younger sister and 2 older siblings, and at the time her mother couldn't care for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they were in the foster system.
Her and her sister.
All 4 of them were in the foster system for at least 3 years.
Wow.
So I think they went into the foster system when she was 3,
mm-hmm.
and by 6. So the 2 older ones, the grandfather's sister took them.
Okay.
And they were in Ohio. Right? And then the grandfather took the 2 younger ones, which is Simone and her sister.
Oh, wow. And
the thing is that the father told his daughter, which is Simone's mother, don't have any contact with them. I don't want you to come by because I don't want you in and out of their lives. They've been through so much drama already and traumatic situations of going into foster care that, you know, now they're going to be in a stable home, and she hasn't been there because, you know, the father said, don't come at all.
He set the standard.
He set the standard at the beginning, you know. So that was interesting because she's still with her her biological grandparents,
mm-hmm.
but she calls them mom and dad.
Wow.
She doesn't call them grandma and grandpa. She calls them mom and dad.
Now I wonder, now that, you know, she's older, has she had any interaction with her mom?
So that's the thing. I don't know if you've seen in social media, because I'm always on social media, and so I know these things.
Okay.
Her mom has spoken out just recently
Ooh.
in regards to Simone and her take, and everybody has an opinion because everybody has an opinion,
And you're entitled to your opinion.
And you're entitled to your opinion. But my opinion is, I feel that she is, she's remorseful. And what she's saying right now, she's speaking to, I think it was Daily Mail, and she said that I want to be forgiven. I want to have the opportunity to ask for her forgiveness.
Right.
I want to be able to answer any questions that she may have, because she doesn't know what she was told. She hasn't spoken to her.
Okay.
She has no relationship with her.
Wow.
Now she speaks to the little sister.
Okay.
A little bit, not a lot, but she does have some type of an interaction with her. With Simone, she doesn't. She was like, I think the interviewer asked her, so do you have a phone number? She's like, yeah, I have it, but I never used it because I want her. See, this is my opinion.
No, I got
but
you.
She doesn't want to. When Simone is ready to come and speak to her,
okay,
she's ready for her to come whenever she wants to come. Okay. Now, right, based on what she stated, she's sober, she's clean. I don't know how long that's been, right, but she's clean, she's sober, she's working as a cashier somewhere in Ohio. So she's trying to get her life together. Okay. And she's just, whenever she's ready, she's like, yeah, my daughter got married and I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I want to be a part of her life, but I'm not going to be a part of life if that's something she doesn't want.
Okay. And so I can respect that.
So she's really putting it on her.
Okay. That's
right.
Excellent.
And so I feel that she's sincere in
Absolutely.
what she's stating in her position.
So my initial processing face that caught you off guard was, all right, are we doing this right now because of the fame and what's going on? Wait a minute.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was giving you my transparent moment.
Yes, go ahead.
And as you continue to talk, I wrestled with, okay, how did you get the number? Does Simone know that you're trying to reach out? Like, these are the questions, having traveled that road, that I'm asking.
Right.
But then to hear her say, if she doesn't want me to, I don't want to. I respect that.
Yes.
I would just hope that those conversations have been put out there prior to this and not just in a public manner. But again, you don't know.
And we don't know because we don't know how, if she has, and she hasn't gotten a response before or anything of that nature. So we don't know, because everyone was saying, oh, she's just doing that because, again, right, Simone just didn't come out this Olympics.
Right.
She's been known for 2 other Olympics.
So let me ask this, though. As a mother, and I don't have the mother gene, I don't have anything of that nature. But as a mother, when Simone went through what she went through in that dark season, if mom knew who she was, which we all assume she did, or maybe she wasn't clean at that time, she could have still been, I don't know. But the question would be, does that mother gene kick in and override?
Because of that mental situation she went through, mm-hmm, I don't think that would have been a good thing for her to even pop up. That would have made everything worse. Okay. Considering that since she's been 3 years old,
right, and the first time you come
in is when that's just going to add to it.
Add more questions.
So, and Simone talked a little bit about when she was 3 and all the stuff that they had to go through. She was like, the cats were eating better than we were.
That's painful. So
they were, and she's like, I was taking care of my sister. She's 3, taking care of her baby sister. Because she felt that she had to.
But that happens more frequently than not.
Right.
A lot of kids are forced to be adults sooner than they
need. So therefore, her mother coming in at the time that she had her issues in 2020, no, that would have that just would have added to it, to where maybe she wouldn't have been able to perform and be in the Olympics this year.
Right.
You know,
you just don't know.
You just don't know. But I feel she's sincere, and it was just crazy how she wants to be forgiven. She wants the opportunity to be forgiven, right? To apologize, to, you know, speak her truth in that sense. But it's the daughter who is not coming out with open arms.
Oh, so it's been documented.
It's not documented. I'm assuming, because we haven't heard anything, and we haven't, you know, or I'm sure if Simone did, the mom would have said, oh, well, we did speak at one point or another in the past, but not recently, or something like that. But she's like, they haven't had any communication.
That's one of the challenges with being in the public spotlight. You know, everything you have to second guess what people's motivations are, and then how will this impact me on this platform? And it's just a lot to it. So I encourage and, you know, pray for all those that are in that public eye is challenging.
Exactly.
So yeah, and again, this is why this, you know, celebrity who's adopted piece is impactful, because you're able to see, you know what, I'm not the only one going through this. No, you're not. And then if everything didn't play out the way it did, would Simone Biles be Simone Biles? Everything has a reason. Everything has a reason. Because her mom probably wouldn't have been able to afford. Right, the care, the gymnastics, because her and her sister were gymnasts. Oh, is her sister still a gymnast? Her sister just decided to bow out and not do it, because everybody kept comparing her. Yeah, and she was like, I'm on. And but she was good. Oh yeah, but she wasn't Simone Biles good. She wasn't, but she won her share. Oh, that's awesome. And that's the thing. Never heard of her. Right, and her thing was, I think, is dance. Okay. She's more into dance. Awesome. So her passion for it may not have been as passionate as Simone's. Gotcha. But she can do it very well. That's awesome. Well, we continue to pray for the Simone, the Biles family. I said the Simone. It's been a long day, but it's all good. So again, please hit that like button, hit that share button, follow us on various social media platforms. Yes. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can get a podcast, we are there. And our goal, our desire is to help just improve healthy families and relationships. Yes. That is what we have strived to do. You know, God placed this on our hearts to share our stories, and through that transparency, I've had people reach out. Please, if you are willing to come on our platform and share your story, even if you're not willing to share, but you just want to talk to us about our experiences or different resources, if you are someone who has resources for the adopted community, yes, please share them with us. We have learned about various conferences, various retreats for adoptees and for parents of adoptees and other connected entities. So we're thankful for this safe space. We recognize that it is a heavy task, but one that is needed. So again, that is our celebrities who you didn't know were adopted. Yes. So let's jump in for our topic for discussion today. I am excited about this, and I'll let you kind of give the lead. So so you know how I mentioned Simone Biles? Mm-hmm. It's like her mom wants the opportunity to ask for forgiveness. Right. So we're going to do a part 2 with Kirk Franklin. Ooh. And how it's like he wants his mother to ask for forgiveness. Right. And she ain't having it. She's still not having it. So recently, he was on a podcast with Cam Newton. Ooh. I mean, that was, if you haven't seen it, you have to see it. And don't let us spoil the interview. It's a long interview, and Cam goes real deep He goes beyond the churchy questions, and Kirk actually encouraged him. He said,
Yes.
"Listen, man, don't ask me those questions," and it yielded some good fruit.
Yes, it
I
did.
definitely think it yielded some good fruit. Another illustration that we all have something that we're carrying in our backpack.
Yes.
So
It was. I have to give it to Cam. He was really good.
Yeah, I would have expected that type of product from the Club Shay, because those are the interviews that he's been given.
Exactly, and yes,
so
Cam Newton knocked it out the park.
Big shout out to Cam. Shout out to Club Shay too.
Yeah,
both are great platforms.
Great platforms, but Cam knocked it out the park.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked it out the park. But so, tell me what set you back? What were you surprised to hear in that?
So in what surprised me, there were a couple of different nuggets, but what floored me, what actually pierced me, when he shared the story that he never talked about publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And he shared how, they were caring for the sister and all the family got together, and his mom came in with her new boyfriend at the time, because I don't think they were married.
No,
they were married.
They were married.
Okay,
her
so
new husband.
The new husband. And they were having a family moment. And the new husband, made the comment to say, "You need to call your mama sometime." And Kirk said he kind of spazzed out. He used some words that I'm not going to say here, that he chose not to say. He did spell it out. And Cam said it because Cam has the freedom to do that.
Yes.
But what he said afterwards, he said he blacked out.
He did.
He said that his mom, her response wasn't, "Oh, well, wait a minute."
No, but you got to say it right.
Okay.
You got to say it right.
Hey, listen, if you're enjoying the conversation about Kirk Franklin that's interviewed by Cam, do us a favor. Hit those like and share buttons so that other people can benefit from this conversation as well. So I'm Adopted Podcast is on all of your platforms for podcasts. Please like and share, get the word out, give us some feedback. All right, I'll let y'all go back.
So they in the huddle, the mom, the sister,
the aunt.
No, it's mom, the sister, and Kirk. They're all hugging. Now this is a monumentous.
Gertrude was there. The aunt.
Deborah.
No, I'm sorry.
She was there.
Okay.
But the huddle was the three of them.
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, that's so beautiful. It's beautiful. This is how family should act." Right. And then Kirk goes, "Wait a minute. We're not here for us. We're here for whoever." I can't remember his sister's name. We're here for her. We're trying to get her on the right track. Right? And then that's when
he made the comment.
The comment came from the peanut gallery in the corner. "Well, you need to call your mama sometime." So Kirk was like,
"Wait a minute.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's pause here." He said, "She's the parent and I'm the child." And then he had the nerve to go, "But you're a Christian. You call yourself you call yourself a Christian." And that's when
he blacked out.
Kirk blacked out. He got a little bubbly underneath his skin, and they said he followed him out. No, then the mother goes, Come on, baby. Took his hand and said, "Come on, baby, let's go."
The husband. Right. And that's the part that Kirk said it broke him.
Yeah.
Because here's this mother who never provided, never protected, never loved. And he gave like 5 or 6 other descriptive words. And here's another illustration of you choosing something else over me.
Or the sister.
Right, over us.
And he followed them out of the house, and he said to her, "Go ahead, do what you always do and walk out on us."
Right.
And that right there is why he has not spoken to her for over 23 years.
Until the documentary
in July. Right. And then that's the last time he talked to her, was that day when she walked out after 2 DNA tests saying that this man was his father.
And she still denies it.
And still won't say why or how or when he was conceived. And he hasn't spoken to her since then.
Yeah.
Help me understand. But the one thing about it all,
Mm-hmm.
he's still giving her grace.
He did. He said that she still is the woman that gave me life.
He gave her a shout out.
He did. After all that, he said, listen, I still respect the fact that she's gave me life.
But he also caveated with saying, really, I thank God for Gertrude for, making sure that she didn't make the decision to have an abortion.
Right.
Because he said he heard her.
Say I didn't want him. I was going to have an abortion.
He was going to have an abortion.
You, talking to Gertrude, wouldn't allow me to.
Would not allow me to. And I thought Gertrude was like a distant relative or something.
I don't know.
I kind of think I heard that, but lately he hasn't been saying that. But that was powerful for him to say, I still give her grace.
Mm-hmm.
After everything, he said he gives her grace because he doesn't know he doesn't know her story.
Right.
He doesn't know her story.
Yeah.
Something happened to her to make her act the way she's acting, to make her treat the kids the way she's treating them.
A lot of times it's just a repeated cycle. The old saying goes, hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
And, whatever, like you said, whatever was done to her was so traumatic that this is the result of it. So what surprised you in watching it?
What surprised me was that he was giving her grace.
After all of that?
After all of that, he was still giving her grace. But I don't understand how you still won't tell him what happened. How did you two end up together? Cam was like, well, what, did you ask her? Cam was like, did anybody just ask her?
Right.
He was like, well, I haven't talked to her since that day.
And she's probably not answering that. Well, I'm not going to make assumptions because you don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. I don't understand. I know for me, when I addressed my mother, my biological mother, with questions, she was forthright in it. Now, do I remember the answers to the questions? Because no, I don't, because I have bad memory and I didn't write anything down. Okay. But she was forthright in giving me the answers. Now, to me, she didn't give it willingly. I mean, she gave it willingly, but it felt like it was forcing, like, okay, I really have to tell her. I don't want to tell her. I felt that, she was getting a little bothered when I would ask questions. So I didn't ask as many questions as I wish I would have, right, because now I don't have that opportunity to ask the questions. So now I'm just out here saying, oh, I wish I did this or that and the third. But I mean, it is what it is,
So I'll share with you with my first mom. We've had conversations and I've asked certain questions. And, I told her, I said, if it's a question that you're unable to answer for whatever reason, I respect that. And she said, well, you can ask anything you want. She said, and I'll let you know. She said, because it's a process and I'm working through it. And I just appreciated the fact that she was willing to even be transparent, because she could easily say, I don't feel like talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's I don't want to say tug of war, because it's not a battle. It's more of a euphoric seesaw.
Yeah.
And I'm just appreciative of that. So I guess if we could put a bullet or a nugget, have intentional communication and conversation.
Yeah.
Because one, it's benefits to knowing, and people probably take it for granted, knowing where you come from, knowing who you're connected with. Those of us who don't have those answers, we walk around with blanks, and we unfortunately fill in those blanks with misinformation or misunderstanding, because and it's a coping mechanism.
It is, because we kind of make our own narrative in our heads, you know, and what we would have liked the reality to be. And like you said, it is a copism. And then when you find out the real truth,
it can like, shatter you like a ton of bricks.
Wait a minute, what?
Right. Or it may be, why didn't you tell me? Because now it's too late and I can't get the rest of the puzzle or, you know, different things. But then people are only able to provide based on what they had a capacity for.
But check this out. What happens if the mother's name is Deborah? Deborah, I'm just hypothetical, finally says, okay, I'm going to tell you the whole story. And then Kirk goes, really? Is that it? Oh, well, I'm okay with that. But she will never know if he's okay with it or not until she, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Like,
but here's the thing though. We have to be mindful of her story is her story.
Right. Well, I don't mean to say I'm okay with it, but to say that I understand why you did what you did.
Correct. But I wanted to bring that point because I think that's something that happens often.
Right.
We try and take ownership of other people's narratives and their thoughts and, you know, their position. So I think that's a very familiar thing. But like you said, that's his ability to say, I embrace it. He may need it. He may not need it. That's something that you have to unpack yourself. And that's why I'm a big advocate. I know we both are of counseling.
Yes.
You know, being able to talk to somebody that can help you organize your thoughts.
Yes.
We self-medicate in our community, whether it's through alcohol, whether it's through jobs, whether it's through sex, whether it's through money. We do all type of different things to avoid what's really at the root of our challenges.
That's absolutely, and he kind of touched on that as well, because when he said he got married, he had a lot going on. So, I mean, they didn't do no marriage counseling. He didn't do any of that because he didn't know to do that. You don't know what you don't know.
It hadn't been modeled for him.
It wasn't modeled for him, you know. And he had a lot of he was very promiscuous growing up. So he had that going on.
Right.
And that wasn't under control when he married Tammy. He had a lot of baggage. And then it's like he gravitated to her because her family was pretty much whole. She had a mother and a father. They had lived in a decent house. You know what I'm saying?
From the outside looking in,
it was a model that he doesn't have. You know, and that's what he was longing for because he didn't see that.
Right. So, and that's let's park the car right there for a second because I think that also creates an avenue for people to get into relationships. Thank the Lord that, you know, that was a healthy situation that he got into.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people don't have and they think, oh, well, they have what I don't have, they can end up going into a repeated situation of the brokenness. And again, this is why full communication is productive. You know, even though it's scary, it's tough, sometimes the difficult conversation is just that, a difficult conversation, you know, but we want to pack so many different narratives of what it could be on it. And, you know, we have to do better as a whole. So another thing that floored me, Kirk was talking about his mom's husband. And he said that after he had gotten married, he was doing a show in Ohio, I think. And these two women came to him.
Yes.
And they said, we just want to apologize to you. And he was looking like, what?
For what?
For what? What did you all do? And they said that they were the daughters of him, the father or the husband.
The husband.
And they said they remember hearing about that interaction. But on top of it, they knew the type of person he was. So they weren't surprised. And the fact that, and it's interesting how they took responsibility for their father's behavior.
Yes.
To go and apologize to those who he hurt. You know, and we carry on.
We do that though.
Mm-hmm.
We do that. Even though we're not the one who actually did the offense,
right.
We feel responsible for our family members when they do things in that nature.
And I think that's when, you know, we have a good conscience and we're trying to live right, and we don't want our good to be spoken ill of.
Exactly.
Or we don't want to be necessarily lumped in with that.
Exactly.
Although that's who, you know, I'm a part of, that's not who I am.
Right. And they didn't have to do that.
No, they didn't. He would have never known.
He would have never known at all. He would have been trying to get some.
Well, they were already at the show. Because he said they came in, so it wasn't like they called ahead of time.
That's true. Hey, we want to talk to
yeah. Like,
but no, I think it was admirable of them to even bring it up to him.
Right.
And no, yeah, that's our dad. That's the way he is, and we deeply apologize. And that doesn't represent us and our family.
Right. And you know, Kirk acknowledged that was powerful for them to have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, something about asking for forgiveness, and it's not always, or apologizing, let me say that, it's not always for the reasons we think. A lot of times that apology gives a release that we, from a place of paralysis, we hold people hostage in our brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so a lot of times and it may have been something that was just eating at them.
Right.
That they were like, you know what, allow us to try and go and advocate and intercede on behalf of our family, because we are good people. And the reality is there's still a level of connection there.
Right.
Even though they're not biological, again, that's a non-traditional family. You know, I'm gonna point that out every time that we see it. That non-traditional family is there. Marriages that bring outside children to it, you know, there's a level of connection. Although it may not be a deep-rooted connection, it's still, oh yeah, that's such and such.
Right.
That's such and such.
Right. Right. That's powerful. And with another thing that stood out to me was, I thought with Kirk finding his father, and then he, you know, going to his son, who he hadn't spoken to in some time at that time, and how he told him what was going on and how they embraced. I thought that was going to be a turning point for their relationship. But it's still in progress.
Right.
Still in progress. Because, you know, in the video, you know, he's saying, this is what I've been missing. This is what I've been missing. But apparently there's still some things that's missing. Because they're still working through it.
Right.
You know.
And I'm sure there's a level of being guarded by all individuals.
Right.
You know, that level of hurt, we protect ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, case in point, if you walk by that table and you stub your foot, the next time you're going to walk out a little bit wider to protect yourself.
True. Yeah.
And like it or not, claim it or not, we put up safeguards to emotionally, or to protect our emotions.
Yes.
Again, but I like I said, we don't always call it what it is. We mask it with other distractors. But the reality is all you're doing is protecting yourself so you don't go through that emotional trauma again.
True. That's like Kirk said, I'm okay, but I'm not okay.
Right.
But I'm okay.
That's a coping statement.
Yeah.
And it's to protect yourself. Yeah. Where it's like, you know what, listen, y'all don't have to bombard me. I'm okay, but I still got a little something right there.
Right.
It stings with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's definitely, and I just applaud Kirk for being transparent, because he doesn't have to share that side of it. You know, as painful as it is. But like you said, so many people that have been blessed by it. Not to say that it changed everything in people's lives, but it gave that little piece of the puzzle to say, maybe.
Right.
Should I? Could I? Can I? Will I? Whatever, you know, it may be.
That's true.
You know, so a nugget is, you know, what you're wrestling with may be the key to unlock somebody else's ... You never know. You might be walking around, and because you are not willing to address what you're pulling in your wagon, somebody might be waiting to come out the house, but they're looking to see who's going to be pulling the wagon down the street.
That's good. That's good. That's good. He unpacked a lot.
He did. He did. As I was in the car and I was listening, it was almost like I could see the visualization. And Cam was saying, he said, I'm getting goosebumps right now. He said, because I listened to your songs, and then I'm like, you're Kirk Franklin, you're dressed to the nine, the gospel and this and that, and you're dealing with this.
Right.
So again, perception.
That was his Michael Jordan.
Right.
That was Cam Newton's Michael Jordan. No, not Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So to be in front of someone who you look up to since you was a child,
right,
and to hear his brokenness, I'm sure that was very, very impactful. And Cam did an outstanding job. That's all I can say.
Big shout out to Cam.
Big shout out. And he didn't hold back on any questions.
Right. Right. You know, again, and we always try and give you takeaways. You know, broken crayons still color. Think about that.
Yes.
You know, when I was growing up,
yes,
I had a bucket, a coffee can full of broken crayon, and we would just color and not think twice about it. But that's how we are as we walk around daily. We all are broken, but we still have the ability to create, to do, to inspire. But if you look at that can full of those broken crayons, it's only a illustration, or not even an illustration. It's a starting point to what could be. So I just want to encourage somebody, don't think that because of your situation that you have limitations. Right.
Because there's always hope.
There's always hope, and there's always opportunities.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't require work. It also may be a scenario where it may not be for right now. You know, so I don't want people to hear that and say, well, I can't do such and such. Well, it may not be the season for it.
Exactly.
You may be being prepared for something down the road, but if you don't do the work here, you're not
going to get the fruit there.
Right. You think about a conveyor belt, like in a warehouse. Person A and B, if they don't do their part, person C and D can't do their part.
Right.
And then the person who's waiting for the product won't get theirs. And so we have to understand that we all are here for a purpose. Everything that we've gone through is for a purpose, for something or somebody else as well.
Yes.
So don't be selfish and hold tight to your testimony.
And we just got to keep our faith and believe that as long as we are working the process and believe that it's going to bear the outcome that we want. And we have to believe that. We got to have faith that that's going to happen. There's always going to be, like he said, that opportunity. And there's always hope that it can turn around for the good.
Always.
Everything that you go through for a reason.
Right. That's right.
And whether you see it on this side of heaven,
right,
or you see it on the other side, or you don't see it, it's still going to reach the purpose that it was meant to happen.
You might not even see the purpose.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. I mean, well, no, even on this side, you might not see it.
True.
You know, because we have no clue. Somebody might watch but never respond and be benefited. There might be one thing that they hear.
That's true.
And it's just like, wow, I never looked at it that way.
Right.
You know, so
that's true.
Just understand that everything has a purpose.
Everything
has a purpose. So
everything.
I'm thankful for this opportunity to talk about, you know, Kirk and his journey.
Yeah.
And hopefully others are inspired. If you haven't seen it, please, it's on YouTube. You can just type in Kirk Franklin and Cam Newton, and they have a couple of different ones, the whole interview, and then I think the one with just that part snippet, it may be about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you need a quick reference, you can utilize or view that. If you have time to view the whole interview, I encourage it because, like she said, he's putting in some journalistic work.
He is. But Kirk is laying down some nuggets, man, some gems, and all through the interview.
Right.
So, and I've listened to some other podcasts. I think he's on a podcast circuit right now, and he's still consistent in his message.
Right.
All through it. So, yeah, Kirk is on a roll.
Awesome. That's awesome.
On a roll.
Wow. So again, we hope that you took away the nuggets that came out of this discussion. This is the first time her and I discussed it. We wanted it to be organic. I think that it yields good fruit.
Yes.
Nothing was written, nothing was planned. It just was a result of a common story that was put out that connected both of us, and we hope that it connects to you. So just remember, counseling is definitely something that we advocate for. Number two, your experience, your story is not just for you. Everything has a reason and everything has a season. So just understand and know, be encouraged. And we always encourage others or individuals to, seek professional support. When you don't know the answers, don't try and right the wrong yourself. It's nothing wrong with seeking professional help.
Because everybody doesn't know the answers. And it's okay that you don't know the answers. But as long as you have an outlet to go somewhere to get the answers, that's the most important thing.
That's right.
That's the most important thing. So this was great.
It was.
It was great.
It was therapeutic. We needed to unpack it.
Yes, it was really, really good. So make sure you guys go out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right?
It's right there now.
It's going to be right there.
Somewhere on there.
It's going to be there. It's right there. You should see it.
That's right.
And any podcasts that you usually use, we are there. And so just hit your like and share. Please share your stories with us if you would like. We're just here for you. We're here to allow you to speak your truth, however that may be.
So if you have some resources, let us know. Give us any feedback. We want to be a resource to you and the surrounding community. So I'm John.
And I'm Lisa.
And we're adopted. We want to thank you again for investing time to hear this truth.
Until next time.
Until the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the So I'm Adopted podcast. We hope that this was informative and educational. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at So I'm Adopted. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, So I'm Adopted. And again, thank you for listening. And until next time, make the choice to begin your healing journey.